We'll get started. Any questions for Coach? Jen?
Hey, Coach. First off, just wanted to ask about how Kiara and Tosh are doing injury-wise, and if there's anybody else who should be on our radar.
No, everybody practiced today.
Great.
Yep.
And then, what were some of the focuses today in practice, and how hard did you guys go? I know that yesterday was kind of a rough day travel-wise.
Yeah, I mean, it was a rough day sitting down in a seat in an airport. I mean, it's there are worse things. Today was just more of a focus of getting looking ahead to Connecticut. Every team we're playing right now is a little bit different style. Their defense is a little bit different than we saw with Indiana for a couple of days. Obviously, they're playing really well. So we focused in on personnel today and some of their concepts. That was the thrust of practice today.
Gotcha. And then last question for me, but Tosh posted that you guys are all fully vaccinated as of now. Have your protocols changed at all yet?
Yeah, well, there's no curfew. They can dine out. On the road, they can, I don't know. I have to think about what all the different things are. We had to take 2 buses for everything before. Now we can take 1 bus. It's more that they can go and do kind of normal things as far as eating meals and that kind of thing. Obviously still masked when not eating, that's going to be kind of with us for a long time, but that part of it, is part of what they can do now.
And testing is still daily?
Testing will stay daily.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yep.
Kareem?
Hey, Mike. I know you were just talking about spent a lot of time on, their personnel and things. They're top 5 in points per game, field goal, 3-point percentage.
Offensive rebound percentage, you keep going.
Yes. So that's how I wanted to ask, what's the defensive challenge tomorrow?
Well, it's huge. I mean, number one, the fact that they are just making shots. I mean, you have to try to disrupt their rhythm a little bit. They're making threes. They got post-up players. They're huge across the front line with Bonner as the small forward. We're not as big as them. We're going to have to try to disrupt them a little bit. Give them a couple different looks and pick and roll coverages. I think we're going to have to do a great job of team rebounding because they are so long. I mean, normally a team that gets 30-something% of their missed shots is doing a great job offensive rebounding. They're over 40%, which is almost unheard of in our league. And so we can't allow them that many second shots, or you're going to end up in foul trouble or giving up layups.
I wanted to ask about Alicia Clark. How much is she kind of becoming a help or almost an additional coach on the sideline over there?
Well, she's not with us on the road at all.
Well, not on the road, but during home game.
Yeah, I mean, it's been helpful. I think that, she particularly defensively because, she thinks with a defensive mind. She sees things that, you can do to disrupt other teams or even individual personnel, how you can break somebody's rhythm. I think that's been really, really helpful to our team.
Was that something that, she's kind of a natural leader, so I knew she would stay involved, but has that almost been a little bit of a pleasant surprise, or did you see her kind of having that role even though she wouldn't be playing?
That's what we had hoped for. I mean, she was going to have that role if she was playing, and certainly when, this came about, she's going to have that kind of a presence. Just her being around every day is a good influence on a lot of our players.
Thank you.
Christy?
Hey there, Coach. With the absence of Alyssa Thomas for Connecticut, how is that different for them and what they do this season? And I know you said all their percentages are through the roof, but what other kinds of things have you seen from them with different personnel on the floor this year?
Well, I mean, probably 40 to 50% of the game last year, she would be a primary ball handler. And so the offense would run through her almost as a point forward. The ball handling has gone back into more of their guards' hands. So the ball is in Heideman's hands and Jasmine Thomas. Occasionally their bigs handle it, but Bonner has become more of a ball handler for them this year. She runs pick and rolls as a screener and a ball handler. So I think that's been a little bit different. You know, they've become a little bit more of a perimeter shooting team as far as they're shooting, you know, more threes probably in many ways. You know, so you prepare a little bit differently. She was a huge headache as far as creating in transition, and then, you know, if she threw it ahead, going right to the rim and becoming an offensive rebounder. But she was such a great facilitator for them. So they've had to learn how to play a little bit differently. But they also are learning how to play to other people's strengths. I mean, when you put, you know, they didn't have Jonquil last year.
Right.
And Brianna Jones wasn't as much in the rotation 2 years ago in the championship. So, and they didn't have Bonner when we played them in the finals. Obviously, she came last year. So, you know, each year they've been kind of a little bit different team than they were the year before. So it's a different way of playing. You notice it when you're going through the scouting report. Oh, geez, we're not having to deal with this, but here's the other problem.
Right, right. And, you know, on the flip side of that, you know, you're going to create a lot of problems with the way Maisha played with a double-double last game, and Tina Charles in the last 3 with more than 30 points. So what do you want to see from them specifically against Connecticut tomorrow?
Do what they did the other night, you know, play off of each other. You know, if one's rolling to the basket, the other one be on the perimeter and be able to face up. They did a good job of balancing that with each other. And I think, you know, when you play against Connecticut, you have to do that. You have to make them pay for taking away paint stuff. So one of our posts is going to have to be able to knock down some outside shots against them.
Thank you.
Andy?
Hey, Mike, when you look at the 5 games, obviously like tiny sample size here, but
Yep.
team grown, I guess, in those 5 games? And where do you like, what stands out to you as maybe like the areas that still need to improve?
Well, as a coach, you probably think everything needs to improve. So, but I think we've gotten better of understanding our own personnel in the sense that, okay, if we're on offense, you know, where should different people touch the ball? How do we put people in bad situations on defense against us with our spacing? So, you know, if Tina's going to be on the block, where should everybody else be that creates defensive problems? If other teams want to double team Tina or Maisha, where should you be? Who should be the cutter against a double team? I think that's been our growth over the last 10 days, a little at a time on offense. Our pace is getting better. On defense, I think we've done a better job. Didn't show up so much on Sunday, but certainly in the New York game on Friday and the Tuesday game in Indiana, we were so much better on a string defensively that we were, you know, if one person was doing something in the pick and roll coverage, they knew that somebody had their back. We did a much better job of taking away penetration against Indiana the other day. We took it away from New York. We made them have to play around the perimeter a little bit more. So I think that's been our growth area. You know, I would like to see us grow in everything. I think part of it is just playing together a little bit more. It was nice to have a practice day today where, yeah, we're preparing for Connecticut, but we're also just talking about, you know, kind of walking through how other teams are starting to play us. Can we adjust to, you know, this team plays pick and rolls this way, the next team's going to play it this way. And so, you know, so that it becomes kind of natural habit rather than having to say it every time. Hey, if we see a double team here, what does that look like? So we're not kind of surprised by anything.
You mentioned that Dewana Bonner's a little bit of a ball handler now for Connecticut. You know, what kind of challenge does that pose just with her size? I mean, she can kind of do a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're talking about a 6'6" long-armed person who can play, you know, all over the court. She played 2, 3, and 4, and in a little bit of 1. And so, you know, we're going to probably, you know, mix up the matchups on her. If she's at the 4 spot, we can play a little bit bigger on her. When she's the 3, we have to play a little smaller, but that means maybe we have to double a little bit. But because she's knocking down, I think she's more patient than maybe she was in the past. And certainly she's making threes at a higher percentage. You know, she used to shoot a lot of threes, but it was an inconsistent percentage. Well, right now, at least based on, you know, the sample size that we have now, she's knocking them down at a pretty good regular rate. And so I think we have to be more aware of not giving her that easy look at a 3-2, make her rush a little bit.
My bad. Sorry about that. But did you get a sense of, like, for Erica, is there like a sense of excitement or something before facing her sister, or anything different with kind of her going into this game?
No, I mean, they've played against each other before, so it's not, you know, I think she can give us a little insights too. They got a chance for the first time in a long time to play together over in Europe for a month. And I think that was the exciting part for both of them. I don't know how many minutes they'll get matched up against each other. It'll depend on, you know, what position Dewan is playing in the game. But I'm sure she's, you know, looking forward to going at her a little bit.
I think that's it, Coach. Thank you.
Bet. All right, guys.
Cream.
Hey, what's up, Erica?
Hey, Green.
So you called your sister talking trash yet?
I didn't. I was trying to see the girls first. Then when I was going to see her in person, it was going, you know, I was really going to get to talking trash. But, no, we're both excited for this game. So it's always a good family matchup. Always just a big blessing for my family. My dad just like smiles from ear to ear every time this matchup comes. So it's really exciting.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. It doesn't get old yet?
It has not gotten old at all. This is like, every time I play against my sister, it's like a dream come true because I've always looked up to her. She's always like been the big baller in the family. So when she got drafted, I was like, I got to do the same thing as her. And so when it all comes to happen and this game comes along each year, it's always super fun, super exciting.
So what's the little insight that you know that other folks don't know to throw her off her game?
I just know when she gets frustrated, I know what she's going to do. She's gonna put her head down to the rim. She's gonna try to attack. So we just gotta contain her. My sister's an amazing player, and you're not gonna stop her from scoring. You just gotta contain her as much as possible. So I'm hoping to get under her skin a little bit, talk a little trash. Hopefully it helps.
That's perfect. And just one last thing, just overall, you know, you guys got back on the right track last game. You know, how do you guys keep moving forward? What's the most important things to kind of keep, you know, making those strides in the right direction?
Right. It's all about building off of what we done well in the last game and then fixing things that we can continue to make better. And so just continue to prove, continue to talk, continue to feed the ball to Team Charles. It's freaking amazing. I mean, back to back 30 games it's incredible. So just continue to do all of the right things that we can do. Of course, there's gonna be mistakes, but we got to continue to stay together, and it's gonna be a fun season.
That's absolutely perfect. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Jen.
Hey, Erica, how's it going?
Hey, Jen.
I saw on Instagram yesterday, Natasha posting about your travel woes yesterday, and just wanted to ask, you know, how are you all holding up, and what sorts of things do you guys do physically to recover both physically and kind of mentally from that?
Yeah, it's a long travel day. Any day traveling to Connecticut is long just because it's hard to get like a direct flight. And we had a delay, I think because of the crew or something like that. It's like an hour and a half delay. So it was a long travel day, and then the seats are just real tight for us. My knees are a little sore from that. But in terms of recovering from that mentally and physically, I mean, we have a great team physician, trainer. We have a great masseuse that helps us kind of wind down from all that travel day. And then I really just try to get away from basketball as much as I can on off days. So it was like an off day for us. So really just try to wind down, relax. Got to play a little slots that helped me. So Mohegan Sun's always a fun place to play for me, just because it's so many lights, so many slot machines.
Did you win any money?
I'm only down $9. So
Okay.
I was down big, and I came back and won like $60. So that was good.
There you go. And I know you guys are now fully vaccinated. So how are you guys taking advantage of more of your freedom to maybe be able to bond a little bit more off the court?
Yeah, I mean, just being able to hang together, go out to eat a lot. Our team is like a group that like loves to eat together. So that's been really cool. And this just being on one bus together, that's always a bonus. Not having to worry about two buses and who's getting on who. So it's gonna be a lot more fun. We're still getting adjusted to it just because COVID has caused so many different changes in our routines. So I think day by day it will be a new challenge and making sure that we like know the rules, even though we're fully vaccinated, there's still more rules. So day by day it'll be fun, getting to know each other more and more as they loosen up the rules with it.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
Christy.
Hey, Erica, how are you? Did I
Good,
get
thank
the, oh, I made sure I pushed the unmute there. Okay. Just with Coach Tebow saying that you had a month to play with Dawana, what was that like to actually play with her? And I know you said when she gets frustrated and she's going to put her shoulder down and get into bodies and get to the rim, but what was that like to actually see the inner workings of her as a teammate?
Man, it was incredible. Just in order for all that to happen for us to play together, it took so much communication between me and my coach. I feel like an agent myself trying to communicate with everything. So when she finally got here, it was just, it was amazing. And then be able to see how she interacted, because I've been on that team for 4 years now. And so this is kind of like my team. She's like coming over to like my family. And so for her to be able to interact with my teammates and be able to embrace them like they're her sisters as well was really incredible. And then just for us to have someone that's played at the EuroLeague level, played at the championship level, it was really great for us, really important for us. I've learned a lot in times like that, when there are just times when we played against a tough team. We were down in the first quarter, and like I know, like in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, like we just gotta try to do everything. And she's like, calm down, it's only the first quarter, we're good. And just seeing how a leader that she is got to interact with us, it was really cool. And then just seeing just little things like how just noticing like when she gets frustrated, what it's like when we both get frustrated with each other, because there's times we bickered back at each other and that was cool. I even like in my head, like of course it was a frustrating situation between both of us. In my head, like I was smiling like, it's so cool. Like I got to play my sister. We had our first little banner on the court. So it was super cool. And I've even got to learn more about her game. Of course I get to watch it, but it's always different when you get to play with her, seeing her mechanisms that she does that makes her an absolutely incredible player.
Yeah, no doubt. That's an awesome answer and great insight on that. Just one more thing from me, just with how Tina Charles is playing and now Maisha is back in the fold. What does that feel like for you, kind of being in that same rotation with those two?
It's an honor, honestly, honor and a privilege to play with those two amazing players. I mean, Maisha had an incredible season last year, and then Tina Charles, future Hall of Famer. It's really a true honor to be able to play in that rotation with them, and be a part of it. I came from a situation where I didn't get to play much at all my first 3 years in the league, and then coming on to be able to play with these amazing players and actually be in that rotation, actually feel like I have a significant impact on the team. It's truly special to me. I take great pride in it, and I got to make sure that I continue to work hard so I can continue to improve and continue to make an impact in that rotation.
I can certainly tell. So have fun in the game tomorrow.
Thank you.
Andy.
Hey, Erica, was that actually the first time you and your sister were teammates on the same team together and actual, like not just playing in your backyard or something?
Yeah, so actually we haven't even got to play like in our backyard at all. Like we hadn't even played a game of one-on-one ever. So that was our first like real basketball interaction with each other. So it was a long, long time in the making for us to be able to do that. And so I absolutely loved it. I mean, I was like kind of nervous though, because I just never played with my sister before. I knew that she was this amazing player, but I didn't know what she was like on the court, actually being her teammate. So those first couple of days, I was kind of like, I don't know how to interact with her. But I mean, like I said, we're sisters. And so it just came naturally for us to be able to play together. And she adapted well to my team that she came over to, and they all adapted well to her, of course, me as well. And so she made me a better player for sure. There's times it was just so frustrating. She just talked to me and just relaxed me, just made sure that she pushed me to be the best player that I could be on the court. And then we just had a lot of great bonding moments off the court. She didn't have a car, so I took her every day to practice. Felt like a mom. Picked her up, texted her like, I'm outside, honked and stuff. And so in those little short amount of like 10-minute periods, we got to really get to know each other and to get to know each other more, because me and my sister grew up in different households growing up. She grew up in Alabama, I grew up in California. So we haven't really been as close as sisters as we would like. And so this opportunity for us to get to know each other and play with each other was so special for us and something we'll never forget.
Can you walk me through that like first practice when you get on the court and you're like, oh, I'm with my sister, like I've never played with her before. Like just what is like going through your head in that moment when like you finally actually do get on the court?
Oh man, it was like so surreal, and it felt like everything was like moving so fast. In a sense, it was very helpful for me that I've already played on my team, so that I can be kind of relaxed here. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is what we do on this drill. Just kind of talk to her in, between plays and stuff like that. But it definitely was nerve wracking. I mean, like even though she's my sister, like I knew like she's an incredible player. And so for me to have the opportunity to play with her, I was a little starstruck, even though she's my sister. So I was like, I don't know how she's going to interact, but my sister's so down to earth and just easy to communicate with, easy to play with. So it came natural.
I was gonna say, like, how did she like, her younger sister being like the mom picking her up for practice and stuff like that? Was that kind of fun?
It was crazy. She got the hang of it. I think she didn't want to drive either. So she was like, she had no issues with me taking her, even though some days I was like, tired, wish I could just go to practice. Cause like going to her apartment was like out the way, but I was like, no, this is like such a great opportunity for me to really like bond with my sister during this time. So I had fun with it. And then, we both wear the number 24. I wore the number 24 because of my sister, and I got to wear it because she came to my team. So she wore number 25. So that was fun to be able to have that little interaction with that.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
I think that's it, Erica. Thank you.
Thank you. You guys have a great day.
You too.
Hey there, Maisha. Welcome back.
Thank you.
It just, what has the adjustment been like for you? I know it was a whirlwind getting back to DC, and then boom, you're right back on the road like that. What was the adjustment like for you to get in that good rhythm that you got into in the last game against Indiana?
Yeah, I think from like the first game, my teammates were all just like, you got it. Like you legit did not practice. Like you just know it was no shoot around you legit just like popped up. So they were really encouraging. So the second game, I was just like, just gonna play free, play loose. Like I was a little nervous that first game, to be honest with you. But just playing free, playing loose, knowing what the team needs me to do. So, and just having coaches and my teammates just so encouraging. It definitely helps and takes a lot of pressure off me, and just able to play like more free.
Mm-hmm. And with playing with Tina Charles, I mean, like you said, no practice reps, no, kind of gelling opportunity, even in one practice or shoot around. What has it been like in the last couple of games to play alongside of a player like Tina Charles?
I mean, that's a Hall of Famer. And I said it before, like I've gotten so lucky with being able to play with future Hall of Famers and champions. So just to be able to add her to like the list of players, post players that I've gotten to play with, especially, is amazing. She's a great person. And I think that it starts with that, like, everyone knows what she's able to do on the basketball court, but like off the court, she's amazing. You want to be around her. She's super cool, super funny. And she's from the East Coast too. So we kind of have like a bond already there. So I'm just super excited to continue to play with her and learn from her. She has a lot to teach me, and I'm just willing to like take it all in and try to be the best teammate I can be for her.
Awesome. And the last thing from me with Connecticut tomorrow, without the services of Alyssa Thomas because of injury this year, a totally different looking team. What is the biggest difference that you see in this matchup tomorrow against Connecticut?
For me personally, or just
the entire team? I'm sorry, like just specifically what that looks like without Thomas in the mix, but now JJ's back and now Bonner is there. She wasn't there last year. Like just a lot of moving parts for them.
Yeah, I think it's a lot more spacing and shooting, a lot more shooting, a lot of more 3-point shooters around. They're playing with 2 point guards, starting point guard, so like that's a little different. But I think it's gonna it's going to be fun. It's like you said, it's a new team, new look, and they're off to a great start this season. So it's going to be a challenge, and I think we're all ready to play, and we're up for the challenge. We know it's not going to be the typical Connecticut team. They have the same sets, but with different people handling it, how we're going to be guarding people differently this year. So I think we're all locked in, ready. I think we had a good practice today. So I think everyone will be ready for the job to do tomorrow.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jen.
Hey, Maisha, it's good to see you. Welcome back.
It's good to see you too, Jen.
I just had a couple questions for you about playing in France. The first one being, what did you work on, and are you bringing any skills back that maybe we haven't seen from you before?
Well, first off, I love France. The competition was great. My teammates were the best. And it was like the first time overseas where I could just speak English, and my teammates spoke English very well, coaches across the board. So like that was pretty cool for me. But bringing something back, I guess when I was in France, every year I felt like I played like different positions. But like in France, we had a lot of injuries, a lot of players come and go, COVID situations, COVID cases on my team. So it was a lot of me moving different spots, different positions. So I felt like I legit had to know every spot in every play. Like, so it was, I guess that aspect of the game, like me, like thinking the game through and actually like knowing things in and out. In my conditioning, I was on the court a lot. So I was talking to Sarah. I was like, Sarah, so can you check my numbers? Because like, I think I'm in great shape, like the best shape I've been in. And then, so before we boarded the plane to come here, she was telling me like my numbers, and I was like, dang, like I knew I was in great shape, and it just like made me feel so good. But yeah, I think in France, just playing like the 3-4-5, not knowing where I'm gonna play that day. Like we would legit just show up and be like, okay, Ma, you're moving to the 3, and then would have to know all the plays. So yeah, I guess that, and some toughness. I was already tough though, but I was getting banged up in France a lot.
Just because you were like the go-to player and that kind of getting banged up, or the style of play, or
the style of play, and I wouldn't necessarily the go-to player. That was like another thing I learned, because in the bubble I kind of had the ball a lot, so I was able to like score from that way. But in France, I played off the ball too. So like sometimes I would have the ball in my hands, but I didn't always bring the ball up and just like, let's run a play. So playing off the ball, being my 3-point shooting has increased, I think a lot, and I'm more comfortable shooting threes, like, just off the rip. But yeah, it's just like the style of play, and I guess when I go inside, getting banged up.
fair. And what was it like playing with Julie and Nafisa?
Ooh, and I played with CP too,
Oh.
Cheyenne Parker too. But no, first we'll start with Julie. Amazing. Oh my God, I was so going into the bubble. I didn't know I was gonna play on this team. So like going from the bubble, like her and Emma were like really close, so we would always like hang out and stuff. So like I kind of knew who she was, and then I find out, I'm gonna play with her, and wow, like she is an amazing point guard. Like she reads the floor very well. Like she's a true leader. She's like pass first, so like I benefited a lot. That's how I was able to score so much. Like she led the league in assist. Like so yeah, no, she's an amazing point guard, an amazing person too. And then Fee, whoo, she is, oh my God. She will be a future MVP in this league. No doubt about it in my mind. She, like, her energy is unmatched. Oh my gosh, her arm's super long, so she's an amazing defender. Like, yeah, no, Fee was amazing too. And CP is just a bully, like a bully as in like post, like will get into you. And I love that type of player, and she was awesome too. So I got a chance to play with some amazing people over in France.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. I remember all off season, I would check Twitter and it's like, oh, Maisha dropped 30 again.
Yeah. Yeah. I was trying to do something.
Last question to Andy.
Hey, I was wondering, you mentioned you're in great shape, like whatever, but has that helped like you get back here without much practice time, like just kind of jump straight into the fire a little bit? And has that been like a big benefit so far?
Oh, that definitely worked, because I look back to my years before, and for me, like, I would always just be tired, and like no matter like what I did, I was just always tired. Heart burning, like looking for air. But France conditioning is a lot different from what I was used to before. Um, so definitely just having like that week off, because my last game in France was the 15th and I flew out the 16th, and just to have, I guess, those couple of days off, um, I mean, definitely helped me with like my body just recovery, and then jumping right back into a game that definitely picked me back up. So like I wasn't always all the way completely like, all right, gotta hurry up and recondition everything. So it was a lot easier coming from France and just having a few days off where I legit just rest, did not like run outside, didn't run on the treadmill, nothing. So I think it was definitely good for my body.
When you say the conditioning is different over there, I mean, were you talking about the game stuff as in like it's more physical as you mentioned, or is it like training itself is different?
Training.
How's it different?
So I say that coming from South Korea before, and that was really different. So with in France, it was a lot of, we had like 2-a-days, and like the second practice, we would legit just do like 5-on-5. Like we would just scrimmage each other, and we would like make games out of it, and we would just games, basically all practice. So I guess I was getting like 3 games in a week, basically. So yeah, like the practices were, what made it like, conditioning different.
Thank you.
I think that's it, Maisha. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.